So we're gonna do the dog
Okay,
steps
so you
without
guys, you
the
may,
sticks.
welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. You may think we're at military school, but we're really not. This is an exercise class for people who have Parkinson's. And everyone in this room, well, except for the teachers. You didn't know that?
I'm in the wrong
Oh,
room.
this is awkward.
You poor man. So
There's all these good-looking women.
that's why you come here? You didn't know?
What are you gonna do? I don't know.
This guy's trouble.
And tell me I know about that. Are we already live or we're gonna?
We're live, yeah.
Okay.
You guys go ahead
Okay, you
and
guys,
do your
we're gonna
thing.
do the big steps
So you guys,
now.
this
so
is,
the first three
not
people
everybody in
stand
the room,
over
but
here.
most of the people in
All
this
three
room
of you
have
come over
Parkinson's
here.
disease.
I'm gonna do the big
And
steps.
what we want to
just
do
watch
today
me.
is explain to you what it
One,
is,
2, 3,
tell you more
4.
about
So
it,
big steps,
and
big
also so
arms,
that you
go.
know that it's not
1,
just
2,
older people who get Parkinson's disease, and you're going to meet somebody. And right now, this is...
I'm Lauren Teetsort. I am the Development Director for Parkinson's Resources of Oregon, which has a local office here in Eugene in Lane County.
Let's hop out. These guys are loudmouths. So,
There's enthusiasm.
So you do, just so, because I kind of led into that.
I know,
you do
sorry,
not,
I can get
you do
taller.
Not, no, I can shrink. It's good, it's good. I'm good at this. So you do not have Parkinson's.
I do
You're
not
with
have
the Parkinson's. You're with this coalition of people.
That's correct. That's correct. Parkinson's Resources of Oregon is a nonprofit that is based out of Portland, Oregon, and serving the Oregon and Southwest Washington area. We serve 12,000 households and families that are living and facing Parkinson's disease every day.
So it's more common than we think. Mm-hmm. And it comes on, we have people in their 20s and 30s that actually...
Yeah. There is, with medical technology improving an earlier diagnosis and a more accurate diagnosis, they're able to do that at a younger age. So where you knew it as the old person disease, it's not. It never has been, but now we're able to show it and address it earlier.
So what is it? What is Parkinson's?
Parkinson's is the second most common neurological disease behind Alzheimer's, and what it
so
is
neurological is brain.
Your brain, that's correct. So it is a lack of dopamine that is running through your body, and they say that you see one person with Parkinson's, you've seen one person with Parkinson's. It looks different for everyone. It can be, an early sign is a loss of smell. And who would have guessed that to be what you typically envision Michael J. Fox with his tremors, right? Or Muhammad Ali. But it can be anything. It is now the researchers are looking at it starting in your gut. So it is a neurological disorder that can be anything from the tremors to freezing in gait. And
is there anything you can do to ward it off?
you know what? That's a good question. You can't ward it off, but what you can do is if you have that early diagnosis, and I'm just going to take this right now as an opportunity to say if you have any concerns that you might have Parkinson's, go see your doctor. And if you're not getting the answer that you want there, go see a neurologist. So that person can immediately help you. But if you
because the earlier you find out, the better off you are.
The better you can address it. So what you can do is you can start. Exercise is the only thing that they've been able to prove with absolute clarity. They've proven that exercise can help slow down the progression of disease and improve your symptoms. So with exercise, and so you're seeing this delay.
So you guys, so these people behind us,
right? This is called Delay the Disease. It's a special.
So this is a program called Delay the Disease, and these folks are in here. Basically, what you're seeing right there, which I think is kind of touching, actually, is these people are right now fighting Parkinson's.
That's correct.
That's
correct.
Don't you think that's kind of sweet?
They are fighting Parkinson's.
Right.
And they are absolutely giving it a 1-2 punch. And this Delay the Disease program is a specialized exercise program, but there are a whole host of ways that you can stay moving. One of the clients that you'll meet in just a little bit has been staying active through building a garden this summer. So it's really activity, but this Delay the Disease, I have seen people that are wheelchair bound get up and be mobile again through the proper exercise.
So that's what you guys do throughout the state, but we have an office right here in Eugene at Eugene Mindworks, a local Parkinson's office that people can go to and find find out more information.
That's
if,
right.
If this is, because that's the hardest thing when, I mean, I'm a cancer survivor, and the hardest part is knowing where to go.
That's right.
And having somebody to talk to just say, you know, there's hope.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't have to be this. I mean, we are so fortunate. We have, you'll meet in a minute, our amazing staff person, Libby, here, who has a heart of gold and is putting every step forward to bring support to all of our residents that are living with Parkinson's in Lane County and the surrounding areas. But
many?
what we're doing, 600. We're currently at 600
In Lane County?
that we're serving.
600 people
Correct.
in Lane County?
Correct.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, I don't mean, but I'm kind of shocked, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're shocked too, but the greater number is the fact that how many we haven't served yet. And that's simply because of a lack of awareness. So I always try and encourage people that if you have Parkinson's and you need something to take care of and live with Parkinson's, if you don't know, just call PRO at 1-800-426-6806 or call Libby here locally.
Holly, can you put that number in there for us? Because she says Libby at Eugene office is great.
Yeah.
So Holly, put the number in there for us, 1-800.
426-6806.
So people can call that number. If you know someone with Parkinson's, you've been diagnosed, and you're not getting services because you didn't know they were here. That's why we're doing this.
That's right. I mean, and you can go, I mean, more than just a movement disorder specialist or a neurologist, you should have someone a dentist that is familiar with Parkinson's. Your yoga instructor should be aware of Parkinson's. So really just, again, I mean, Libby does case management and social services. She's connecting people to exercise classes locally, like the one that's in here. She's providing educational forums. I mean, there is just a plethora of opportunities to live better with Parkinson's here.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go over here.
Moving on.
No, we're good.
Oh,
we're good.
Hi.
You guys, we want to also thank the Waterford Grand for allowing us to come in here and do our interviews here and talk. But I want you to meet this gentleman. You are?
Scott Joyner.
And you're how old?
51, I almost forgot.
And you were diagnosed 4 years ago with Parkinson's.
Correct, 2014.
How'd that start? How'd you notice something was wrong?
Well, actually, my doctor, my GP, noticed it for me, and she asked me how long has your arms been trembling like that? And so I says for about 6 months, and she says, well, you're headed off to the neurologist, and the neurologist ran a bunch of tests, and she says, well, you got Parkinson's. And I says, Parkinson's, what's that? And and then from there, you start learning what Parkinson's is all about.
So now, unfortunately, you are an expert.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I understand that. I learned more about cancer than I ever really cared to know. I'd rather be uneducated in it, but you get a real crash course. Changes your life.
It does. It really does.
Tell me the hard things first, and then we're going to talk about some positive things.
It's the simple little things that we take for granted every day. Like I was telling you earlier, you're learning how to brush your teeth, and instead of just a normal action of brushing your teeth back and forth, I had to go buy a rotary. And there's some days where I have to use both hands to brush my teeth. One to grip the toothbrush, and the other one to do the motions back and forth. Thought process is the big one. Communications, carrying on a communications, because.
So we're sitting down actually to do the interview because if Scott had to stand up to do this, he'd be concentrating so much on standing up that it would be harder to do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
And I think those are little things that people would really never notice and might not be considerate of. That people, I think we can all learn how to better treat folks with Parkinson's. You know, can you scoot that direction? I'm loving this. I love talking to you because I think this is really good for people to, especially because of early onset. So you're 51. You're like 8 years younger than me, and what? So I want to get to positive, but I want to ask you something. What keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? Well, nothing, because,
I mean, in terms of you thinking about this,
I have to back up for this question, and the Parkinson's causes insomnia, and the insomnia causes muscle toning, where your nerves are constantly at tense. Okay, so that means it's your muscles start to become tightened constantly, and and they have a medication for that, and that's one of the 4 medications that I take every day, and it knocks you out. It absolutely knocks you out.
So you don't have trouble with insomnia now?
Well, I have problems getting up in the morning. And it wipes you out for the first half of the day, and then that's about it.
So what have you learned about yourself through all this?
Oh, boy. That if there was resources, being educated on what Parkinson's is and recognizing the signs is that, see, this is where you lose train of thought.
Right.
And carrying on a normal conversation, you're thinking about something and then you totally forget what the hell we're talking about. So,
Well, I do that too, but I don't have Parkinson's that I know of, but I do that too. I think
So-
mine's the 59-year-old thing. It's going to catch up with you. But that's part of it, and that has to be so frustrating.
oh, it is. Yeah, people don't recognize. They just think, you have troubles having a conversation, and you learn how to lose your speech. Your tongue, muscle control of your tongue.
Do you appreciate your life more?
Yes, I do. Yeah, we take for granted for what we've got. And
Every day is a gift.
yeah, every day is a gift, and the big gift is my wife.
Well, that just segues me perfectly. So I'm going to go over here because see how Scott did? He just got right into it. And you are?
I'm Jenny Joyner, Scott's wife.
So when Scott is diagnosed with Parkinson's, you're basically diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Absolutely.
Not that you have the disease, but you have to live this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just talk to me.
Well, with Scott, there was a lot of things that were pre-existing that we weren't aware of were actually part of Parkinson's.
Such as?
So obviously, probably one of the biggest for a lot of Parkinson's patients is depression, anxiety. He had been misdiagnosed with Meniere's disease. He had degenerative back disease, disc disease, things that we then look back on and realize that it was actually Parkinson's. And then just kind of learning and growing with him as he progresses along. Humble, more appreciative, more patient. I used to think, God, he's just being so lazy. He's sleeping on the couch all the time, and
So now you understand.
Now I understand.
So
And
do
I
you
get it.
find that other people don't? Is that why you?
Absolutely. A lot of people are educated and it's not anything, it's just that it's not as well known, and a lot of people think of it as an older person's disease. So when they see Scott and they see how young he is and they see he looks healthy from the outside, they don't always notice his tremors, but they don't know the day-to-day. They don't know what I live with his worries and anxiety, the mental part of it that people don't see.
Come here. Because I want to be free to talk to you. So I want to set this down. So come move closer. Yeah. Oh, you don't have a rolling chair. I'm sorry. You're not rolling. Here. Get in this one. Get in this one. Get in this one.
Okay.
You guys, this is how it works. We're just moving along here.
Okay.
So what is the day-to-day like for you? What's the hard part? Is it watching a decline?
Yeah, 100%. I want my husband to be there when I'm 90 and he's, we're 8 years apart, 98, right? Like, I want that to happen so bad. I think the worst fear for me is not knowing the unknowns, because with Parkinson's, as Lauren had mentioned earlier, it's not a cookie cutter disease. Everybody progresses at a different rate, and we don't know. It could be 20 years before he's not able to function, the way he wants, or it could be 5 years. And that's the scary part, is just the unknowns.
So what's the hope? So for people out there who are diagnosed, and even older people, can you give me some hope? Obviously, the education is huge.
Yeah.
Better understanding, acceptance from people, which is what the Parkinson's folks are talking about. So, and all of us kind of understanding that everything we see may not be what we think it is.
Yeah, for me, the hope would be that those individuals, I was really quite shocked at hearing, even from both Libby and Lauren, that here locally, there's a lot of individuals who are not aware of the resources that have Parkinson's. So I kind of feel like it's also my mission to not just help my husband, to help others that are suffering and have, battle with it on a day-to-day basis, to get them in front of those resources. We were lucky and had Dr. Batcha point us in the right direction from the beginning, but not everybody gets a Dr. Batcha from the beginning, and they're not aware. And so also just the awareness of what they can do to kind of battle and help themselves on a day-to-day basis with the exercising.
Well, yeah, like this class. If you,
Can I just interject?
yeah.
I'm curious. No, keep it for
okay.
sure. It's a
Well,
question.
but I want them to hear you. So
Okay,
come on.
it's me.
It's me. You're awesome at this. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm curious, and I think that Jenny can answer for us. I think that Jenny and Scott would both say that one of the positive things is that they did get an earlier diagnosis, and so they've been able to adjust their life so that they're capturing the richness and the fullness of it now, right? And really looking at, okay, so I am looking at degenerative. I have the worst time with that word.
I know. Well, plus it's, you don't want to say it.
Well, and so they're looking at the reality, but they're able to address it with the reality because they've been able to connect with resources and physicians and a support group that understands. And now Scott's chiming in. Excuse us for a minute. Sorry, Scott.
Well, actually, have Rick come back over here.
Oh, okay. Rick's coming back.
Okay, so you guys, I'm sorry. So hold on. Now you get to finish. And these people said
a
to
good
me,
thing the
"We're
chairs
not
were
really
on our
sure how to
rollers."
do this." You know, it's like, maybe I'll just leave and you can just take off without me.
it's
No.
okay.
So what else are you? Go ahead.
So I just wanted to hear are keeping life normal. So what is it? Now you know what you're dealing with. So how are you keeping life normal on a horse ranch and work and?
Okay, so you answer that, and then I'll go to Scott. Hold on, Scott. She's cuter. Well,
Thanks.
it's true.
Okay, so for us, Scott and I have been married we've actually been married for 23 years. We've been together for 24.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So for us, a lot of normalcy is just the day-to-day, and trying to find things that Scott enjoys doing, such as the gardening mentioned earlier. He has that outlet, and doing things together while we can, hiking if we can, doing those things that we're not going to be able to do later on down the road, and appreciating those times and those moments together, because we don't know what the future holds.
So in some ways, and I'm stretching this a little bit, but I felt like this with cancer. There's sort of a gift in this, because when you're diagnosed with cancer, and I don't know Parkinson's, but I'm going to just use this analogy, all of a sudden, I really don't care what people think of me anymore. And you go, well, Scott Terry, didn't you? And you get to this point, there's some freedom in that. Because when you face death or something, which was what this, cancer, all of it, when you face that, everybody else is going to die too. But we know it a little bit better. So then do you kind of get to, sorry, now you're doing it to me. Do you kind of get to live better?
Yeah.
In some ways? I mean, I know it's taking things away, but in a way you also get to live a little bit harder, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
stronger.
tell every single person that I love them.
Right.
And I give them hugs.
Yeah.
And I appreciate every moment I have with Scott. I want to spend more and more time with him than I ever did before. And I've always wanted to spend time with him, but even now it's more important. It's not a death sentence.
Right.
I do want to definitely state that, and it's not, as I've been through the cancer with other people as well, and it's not a death sentence like cancer.
Right.
But the unknowns and knowing that your quality of life is diminishing, and especially I think I don't want to necessarily stigma, men versus women, but that has been a challenge for men. For Scott, he's a manly man. He wants to be a provider. He wants to be able to show his worth. And it's extremely hard when your body is not letting you do what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Oh, thanks.
She'd be a good wife to have if you're going to go through something hard. Well,
Yeah.
probably just anyway, but
I'm
yeah.
pretty lucky.
You're a lucky man. You kind of over-marry your ratings, you know? There.
Well, I am going to tell you what a day-by-day situation is.
Okay.
Is that the drugs regiment your day, they regiment your eating. You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and so you take your first medication there, and you can't eat an hour before, and you can't eat an hour after. So you take your first pills at 6, and then you take your second pills at 11, and then you take your third pills at 4, and then you take your nighttime pills when you go to bed. Now, when you wake up in the morning, you never know if you're going to wake up fully functional, meaning that it's like Jenny found a good analogy of it, like a snowstorm. Is it snowing hard out there, or is it snowing light, or is it just a foggy day? And you never know what you're going to get that day. So you wake up, well, lightheaded, vertigo, blah, 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 and you find your way out to the stalls. You clean the stalls, which help me get going and wake up in
That's
the
your
morning.
therapy.
That is my therapy. That starts my day.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So when I see your hands shaking, what's the proper thing for me to do? If I'm in public and I was to sit and see your fingers shaking like that, do I address it?
No.
Okay.
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah, because it may open up something that some people may handle talking about it well and better than others. And
If
so
you want to talk about it, you'll bring it up.
you got it.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you is that you become non-empathetic towards people. You hit when you were talking to Jenny is that you really don't care about other people's feelings anymore. I used to be, always focused on what other people are thinking, how other people are feeling. Now I could care less.
Now, can I tone that for you just a tad?
Okay, I'm just telling
Because
you.
you're
how it is.
I know, but you're a nice guy, and I'm not gonna let you get away with that. I'm gonna tone you. I know what you mean. You don't care what their opinions are, or that they wonder why you're shaking and that kind of stuff.
It makes you feel that way.
Right.
It's not because.
But you still care about people.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is that, and I felt the same way when I had cancer. Is like somebody come up and say, "Oh, you have cancer," and it's like, and with prostate cancer, they make some assumptions that what's working and what's not working, and it's like, and I'm going, I don't really care. You just kind of get to
I
that
think he
point.
still cares, but he doesn't let it impact
Right.
how he's gonna.
Well, actually, it's the disease that causes that.
Right.
You lose taste, you lose smell, your eyes you lose flutter in your eyes, so you're constantly having to wipe the sweat out of your eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, this is.
And you know what's so sad? What's kind of weird and different about it too is, I mean, to look at you, you look completely fine.
Right.
You know, I mean,
But-
she's better looking, but you're a good-looking dude. You're just kind of sitting here.
I think he's
But
pretty good
he's a
looking.
good-looking dude, but he's just sitting here like, and you don't look like, if I saw you on the street somewhere, I would never suspect. And the only thing that makes me know is because I'm looking and I see your fingers.
And I only have,
And you're looking for that.
And I'm looking for that. I would never probably notice it if it hadn't.
and it's because of the medication that helps with that. If I wasn't on the medication that I was, it'd be, we wouldn't be sitting here talking.
Well, can I just thank you for being so open and
Yeah.
chatting with this? Because I really want people to know and to understand, I deal with other different groups of folks, and I think it's really important for people to know what to ask and what not to ask, that you can bring it up if you want to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
I want to talk to
yeah.
Yeah, I want to hit the rubber where the road is. This is my new work buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Scoot up a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So we
Need to
have
get
offices right near each other.
Yeah.
And so if Eugene Mindworks is right on 5th Street, across from the 5th Street Public Market, upstairs, and that's where her office is. So if you're someone who's been diagnosed with Parkinson's and you're not one of those 600 people and you're not getting services, you're the connection to all this. What do you
Right.
do? What do you guys
Right.
offer here in Eugene?
So
For the most part, I just try and find out what the person is needing, where they're at with things, and then be able to fill in the resources that are pertinent to their needs. So, because it's not a one size fits all, just as we talked about, one person with Parkinson's looks different than somebody else with Parkinson's. And so I just really listen a lot. I listen to what they're ready for as far as information and education, and if they're ready for a support group. And if not, are there other ways that they maybe could connect to somebody else with Parkinson's on a one-to-one basis? You know, maybe that's where they're at, and that'd be more comfortable for them. So I just really try to listen, and then wrap what they need around them. You know.
So can I ask you? So why do you do this?
For one, Parkinson's is just so complex that it's just so interesting, that there's so much that we need to do with research to get better treatments and better medications. So it will always be interesting the rest of my working life. And then what I love about it is that I meet so many wonderful people in our community, and I get to figure out how I can provide them some support in whatever that is, and to help them solve problems. I like to help people solve problems.
And it's like we were saying, it's not a death sentence. And
Yeah.
and I think in culture, if somebody says that, okay, they're all singing.
they're
in there.
doing
So
their
you want to know how
ahs.
sad here? You want to know how sad this is? Look at this. These people are over there having a ball. They're having a super good time exercising, and you would never know. But you also, because I've heard people already describe you, because this is what I've heard, is that you have a huge heart, and you really do care about these people, and you can provide through education and information the hope that they need. Because if you don't have hope, you can't fight.
Right.
And obviously, as we've seen in this exercise class, you have to be able to fight to ward it off as best we can, and
Yeah.
through exercise or working in the stalls with the horses and that kind of
Right.
stuff. So you're that connection piece,
Yeah,
and
to
you're
help
right here in
people get
Eugene.
connected to what it is they need. So, you know, this class might not be the right class for everyone and stuff. And so we have so many different resources in our community. We have a wealth of exercise classes that are specifically appropriate for Parkinson's disease, as well as, you know, I'm connecting with physical therapists, speech therapists, different speech programs, counselors, and helping them have more awareness of Parkinson's disease and what kind of interventions people are needing that we need to build in this community.
Okay, you look like you want to say one last
you can
one
tell.
parting shot.
I just want to say, for your viewers that are watching this, that there is a rich, robust support network here in Lane County. Those 600 people are in support groups, they're in classes, hiking groups. I mean, there is a wealth of opportunity if you'll touch base with Libby. But in addition to the people with Parkinson's that have been diagnosed with the disease, we have a host of services for the caregivers like Jenny. We have support groups. We have classes on how to lift your spouse and how to help them. I remember one of the first board meetings I went to, a board member was walking to the restroom and stopped, froze in his gait. And I went to help him, and he quickly said, "No, don't do that." Like, and you asked what I should do if I see your hands tremor. Like, it really is a whole wealth of information. So we have long-term care training for professionals. We have caregivers that are living at home. There's just a lot of information.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
I'm just going to say it again. It's on the chat too, but call 1-800-426-6806. And we didn't talk about it, but on Sunday, we have a walk here.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're welcome, Rick.
Do it.
I'll just take this.
Help! I lost my show.
We have a walk in Eugene at Alton Baker Park on Sunday at noon, and it is free to register, and you just can call that same number or log on to soulsupport.org, which Holly, I'm asking you to put that in the comments, but it's SOLE support.org, and it's free. It's a celebration. We have a live band coming, food. It'll be just a great afternoon.
Please come out and join us.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, so yeah, if you'd put that on there so people would know, and also you guys, please share this on your page, because here's the thing. This is how social media works. If you share this, you don't know who are your friends on Facebook or people you don't know that are on your Facebook who may have just been diagnosed with Parkinson's. You don't know. And just by putting that on your page, you could be providing information that's invaluable to them. And so don't be shy about this. And I can tell if you do and don't share it, because I know who shares it, because Facebook tells me everything. So we really want you to share this on your page and get that out there, the information. Scott, thank you guys so much for doing this. Again, Dorian, thank you for letting us come to the Waterford Grand. Thank you guys. And again,
Thank you,
Eugene
Rick.
Mindworks, just real finder. Office is up there. All the phone numbers and website information's on here. It's not the end. In fact, it could be the beginning of something different. So that's kind of how it works. That's life. Thanks again. Tomorrow, we're going to be early morning, 9 o'clock, with Ron Story over at Kiefer Mazda. They're going to show us some new equipment they have. Thursday, a young man who's 15 years old has hired me to do his own story at Churchill High School. He and 250 of his friends are going to walk in the Out of the Darkness walk on Sunday, the 30th, because a couple of their friends have taken their lives. And so important to them, they're going to do that. So we're going to get to go talk to them and have some fun conversation with them. Again, share this on your page. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk with you tomorrow.